Well, hello, boys and girls. This is When I Feel Like It O'Clock. I'm Pearl of Wisdom, and you're listening to my NHL Pearls of Wisdom. And today, I'm going to be doing who I would pick, and a little bit about who I likely think the team will pick for the NHL Draft 2020. Thank you, Mr. Craftsman, for commenting in the comment section in the last video that we did. It was wonderful to have you. I have some, Helen has ground up some pearls for you. Here you go. There you go. Right in your front yard. Good for you. You got them. Okay, still looking for Dave Reed, Richie Rich, Zelansky, Karen Zelansky, Paul, I can't remember all your names now. It's been a while since I've seen you back there. That's why I can't remember your names. All of you who are commenting down there, please come back. I will send you pearls. Anyways, but thank you, Mr. Craftsman, for commenting down there. And hope you're all getting your 14 naps in. Pants-free living. Gotta remember that. We live pants-free living here. If you want to know more about that, look at my previous videos. They will tell you all about it. And make sure you subscribe to this fine programming. I will send you a My NHL Pearls of Wisdom necklace. Perlocopter to you from Hernandez, or Melissa will send you to the Pearl. Hernandez runs the North Hemisphere, and Melissa runs the South Hemisphere. We will send that off to you right away. Now, just for that alone should be a good subscription. Okay, so the NHL Draft. What I'm doing here is who I would pick in the top 15. We're doing top 15 because I'm going to do another draft one where we're going to do all of them. But I haven't got all the information, and my sources haven't brought me all the information I need for all the other players. All the sources I have. Yeah. Okay, so let's start. With the 15th pick, I believe that I really think that it's between Seth Jarvis and Noel Gunler. Kekalainen is one of the best scouts ever, especially European scouts, like the Wayne Gretzky, and Kekalainen is the general manager of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Either one of these are fantastic picks. Seth Jarvis is small. Oh, shoot. But his numbers are absolutely fantastic. Sorry about that. I had to say, oh, shoot, because I hit the button that I wasn't supposed to hit. But we're going to keep on going. His numbers are fantastic. He's put up like 48 goals in 56 games, something like that, in junior already at this age. That's crazy. Either that or Noel Gunler, who put up 23 points in 43 games in the Swedish Elite League. Honestly, it's really splitting hairs here. I'm going to say Gunler. Simply because he's a little bigger, he may be a little more ready, but I'm on the fence. I'm going to go with Gunler, though. For the 14th pick, I'm going to say for the Florida Panthers. Now, the Florida Panthers have quite a few of offensive prospects coming up. They have a lot of offense in their lineup with Huberdeau and Barkov, and if they get Dadonov back, I have a feeling they're going to sign Dadonov back. Their offensive depth is probably okay. All things being equal, I have a feeling they're going to go with defense here. And the guy that's been moving up like crazy the last while is a guy named Jake Sanderson. It's going to be between him and Braden Schneider. I like both, but I think Jake Sanderson's offense is improving at a faster pace. His upside's a little better, and I think that with him being available here, and I do believe I would have him available here. I wouldn't pick him above this. They will take Jake Sanderson with that pick. I would take Jake Sanderson with that pick as well. Actually, I would take Jake Sanderson. If I'm in Florida, I would be really hard not to pick, like I said, the previous fellow that maybe Gunler as well here. And then in which case Columbus would then take Seth Jarvis, but probably Jake Sanderson. With Winnipeg, the Winnipeg Jets, really disappointing that they had missed the playoffs and are in this position. However, after they lost Bufflin and et al., Trouba, I had them missing the playoffs. They almost did it. They still could, depending on the way the NHL does their system, but I'm hearing that it's possible that they don't. And they're going to do the draft beforehand, which would put them in the position they're in now. I think Dawson Mercer would be down to them here. He made it onto the World Junior team, and maybe other scouts because of that may take him higher. But the main reason why he made it to the junior team is this guy is full of character. It's really unsure whether his offense is going to translate, that he has in junior is going to translate to huge offense in the NHL. Seems like a third line guy. Now, would you want to take a third line guy this high in a deep draft? Considering Winnipeg's offense and the money that they're going to be playing to their offensive players, there's not really a defenseman here to take. Possibly they take Braden Schneider here. But Dawson Mercer's offensive upside and the type of player he is, he does have offensive upside. He could move off offensively. What I'm trying to say is if Dawson Mercer's offense goes high, this is a power forward that is so hard to find in the NHL. And his character is insane. Plus, it's a very safe pick. I think I take Dawson Mercer here. Almost considering Braden Schneider here, but I think it's possible. I think it's possible that Braden Schneider ends up being a 3-4, maybe even a 5-6. I just like Mercer's upside. So I'm taking the best player available in this spot. The 11th pick, we got Connor Zary. I'm taking Connor Zary from Minnesota, if I'm Minnesota. Now, they're deep up the middle, so they may go a different way based on their depth, but I doubt it. Connor Zary looks like a solid second-line center. Trying to think of some players that he would be in the mold with. I'll keep if something comes up, but he is a solid second-line center. He's not crazy good at anything, but he's very good at everything. Maybe for some reason names aren't popping in my head, but excellent second line center. Think he's probably best player available. That's the reason why I'm taking him here. Now we have the New Jersey Devils. If I'm the New Jersey Devils here, I'm probably taking Pat Quinn. Connor Zary might go here, but they're so deep up the middle. If you're taking the best player available, you probably take Connor Zary, but Quinn has an upside shooting-wise that maybe is even better than Zary. It's almost like all things being equal, and they would be better off with a winger than a center for their depth. Not to mention, I believe that Quinn has some background with New Jersey. Don't quote me on that. But regardless of that, because of their lineup and what they need on their team, I would probably skip Zary and go with Quinn. Quinn has a kind of shot, if put together, if the rest of his game comes together like it quite likely can, he could be a 40-goal scorer in the NHL. So excellent pickup by them. With the 9th pick, you have the Chicago Blackhawks. And a lot of people don't like picking who I'm going to pick this high. But I'm going to go with Yaroslav Askarov. Yaroslav Askarov is one of the one of the premier prospects we've seen as a goaltender in quite some time. Maybe since Fleury. Like he is, Vasilevsky was right there as well. This is an extremely deep draft. In most drafts, Askarov would probably go top 5. Top 5 goaltenders are hard to find. Occasionally they don't pan out, but most of the time, the guy, Askarov is going to pan out. I'm just going to say it flat out. He's going to be an amazing goaltender. And the Chicago Blackhawks, with the makeup of their team, they've got a lot of players that are getting old quick. If Askarov can do, like, say, what a Shesterkin is doing in New York, and he has a talent to do it, it could give them an opportunity to use the veterans that they've kind of overpaid for to go for another cup quick. If somebody takes him above him, then of course, then they would probably take like a Marco Rossi or whatever, the best player available. They don't have much in their depth as far as a goaltender that's going to be definitely considered a number 1 in their prospect rule. So probably a good idea to get one now while you can. Number 8, the Montreal Canadiens. In a perfect world, I think they'll likely try to move up, honestly. I think Montreal is going to do everything they can to move up in the draft here. They'd love to have a guy who's probably going to be picked above them here. But I think they're going to have no choice but to take Marco Rossi. Now, it's possible. I've heard Ottawa is very high on this guy, Marco Rossi. And he's going to be a fantastic centerman. He's got crazy skill. He's like 2 points a game in junior, but he's small. And the problem is Montreal is pretty much small. The thing is, though, Montreal has been trying to get centers any way they can. They've been drafting them like crazy. What was it, a couple years ago, they picked Kotkaniemi, who was kind of off the board. Like, he was considered maybe at a 9 pick, and they picked him 3rd just because they want a center. They're desperate. Marco Rossi will probably need another year in junior, but when he does play, he looks like a certain number 1 center with that kind of talent, a point-a-game center. So they would go for him there. At number 7, Anaheim would basically take the best player available here as well, and they would get a damn good one in Alexander Holtz. Talk about 40-goal scorers. He is for sure going to be a 30-goal scorer in this league. I would say he projects for sure almost as a 30-goal scorer. Most scouts are saying that it's unlikely he isn't a 40-goal scorer. His shot is absolutely fantastic. His accuracy is amazing. He's got all the tools, speed, size, doesn't back down, plays a solid game in Sweden, and I'm sure they would love to have him. They do need offense on the wing too, so it fills a role well. They have a lot of good offensive players coming up. They have a lot of players coming up, period. Anaheim is actually set up a lot better than people think. The LA Kings go down 2 spots. By the way, Anaheim went down 2 spots, so you're starting to see who it is that moved up here now. I'm taking in this spot, they're going to have to take Cole Perfetti. I'm not sure that the center position is really what they're looking for, with Velarde already there and filling a role. It's going to be a little bit difficult to find a spot for Cole Perfetti here, but he's the best player available in this spot, and they could try him on the wing. Not to mention, having a solid top 3 centers in this league is huge, especially if you want to play a possession game. So not a bad thing to have, not a bad problem to have. Now we have the Ottawa Senators. Ottawa Senators obviously moved down here, and they have the next 2 picks. Now, from what I've heard, and I have to agree, They are immensely high on Lucas Raymond. So high that on him that there's actually talk that they might have him as their number 2 prospect in this draft. That being said, I think they're going to take in Jamie Drysdale and Lucas Raymond. Now, I don't know which one they're going to go up to the podium first for. Maybe Lucas Raymond, simply because he's from Sweden, and it would just give him a little bit of a boost to be a little higher and show appreciation for someone coming into your country and stuff like that. It's the Canadian way. It's what we do. So they would take Jamie Drysdale here. Jamie Drysdale looks like a top 2 defenseman in the league. He's by far the best defenseman in this draft. Ottawa's got a lot of great defense there in Shabbat. And a lot of good defensive prospects coming up as well. But you got to take Drysdale here. He's like Drew Doughty. He kind of has Drew Doughty in him. He's that guy, that kind of compete. He's not as big as Doughty is, but he has that kind of compete. Fantastic offensively. Most scouts I say that I've heard or read about when it comes to Jamie have said that it would be very surprising if he doesn't have at least one Norris in him. So fantastic 2 players to get to rebuild that team, which is rebuilding very, very fast. They've still got another first rounder and 3 second rounders in this draft. So the number 3 spot, we have New Jersey Devils moving up 3 spots and taking Tim Stützle. Now Tankathon should know, I thought this was protected. I thought this would go to Arizona. Can somebody in the comment section tell me about that? I thought this pick was top 3 protected, in which case Arizona would get it. Oh, you know what? It's not. The number 10 spot was the Arizona pick. So they got really lucky here. Their own pick moved up 3 spots. And they're going to take, I believe, Tim Stützle. Now, he can play left, center, and wing. And they just previously picked Quinn. This Stützle can play any side. Left side, right side, middle. And he looks like a 60, 70-point centerman, possibly a number 1 center. He's already getting a point a game in the German Elite League, which is pretty fantastic for a kid his age. 18, on the young side of 18. So, fantastic pickup. If he plays wing, you've got your forward lines probably set for quite some time for New Jersey. They can just start working on their defense. I think they would love to work on defense here. In fact, it's possible that I'm incorrect and they let Stützle slide and take Drysdale. However, they have a very small defense as it is. Drysdale is not the biggest guy in the world. I think they're going to go with to fill out those wings and maybe start spending on the free agent market to fill out their defense. That's what I would do if I were them. Anyways, Quinton Byfield would go to the Detroit Red Wings. Now, there's talk that the Detroit is high enough on Stützle that they would take Stützle in this spot. There has been a lot of talk about that. I just have a feeling that they're going to go with the big center. 6'4", 214 pounds. He's under 18 years old and putting up ridiculous numbers in junior. I just can't see them not taking a center with this type of potential, especially with the way size is needed in the NHL. Their number 1 center is Larkin, or number 1. They could use a number 1 center is what I'm trying to say. Larkin is considered a number 1 center. On a perfect team, he probably could play the 2nd spot. And having that big center is so huge. It's so huge in the league now, especially a guy who can skate. There's a lot of people are saying that he's gonna go back to junior and if he goes to Detroit, he will, to work on his defensive game. There's elements of his game that needs to be worked on, but for me, I can't give up this size and speed and all the tools this guy has. And the number 1 pick is Alex Lafreniere, and goes to the Buffalo Sabres. Now, wouldn't that be huge? Huge, huge, huge for this organization that has been floundering for some time. Making part of the reason why is they've made some poor picks, like Nylander instead of Sergachev when they had the opportunity in that draft. But here would be a gift for them. To have Lafreniere is probably the only player that could play, that will likely play next year. To have a guy like that who has been compared to like Rantanen, to be able to play with Eichel would finally give some legitimacy to this organization. And God, the fans sure need it. A lot of people don't realize that the fans in Buffalo, sports fans in Buffalo, are probably the best fans in North America. I've heard like people that do stats on ratings for different games all over the country, basketball, whatever. Buffalo doesn't even have a basketball team. And quite often the Buffalo ratings for basketball on just about any team in the NHL or in the NBA are top 3. Like, they are absolute diehard sports fans, and they've had to have this Buffalo Sabres franchise that's been floundering. Hasn't been really good since Dominic Hasek, and they deserve it. So good for you for getting that. Anyways, that's my mock draft. Everybody's screaming for all the letters. Please send the letters, because we love your letters. We send. We have new letter guy now. His name is Julio. The other one came down with the corona, passed away. So Julio goes down and he gets the letters from the letter mail room. He brings them up, and we pour them on the letter table, and we do the Perlo dance. Everybody, Helen, Hernandez, and Melissa, and my wife, and everybody, we do the Perlo dance. We invite the whole town in, the whole land, and then we pick up the letters and we read them. And we had so many I couldn't even read them all, asking for this. So you got it. Hit the subscribe bell. Have a great day. Lots of love to you.